Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yahanna, presents the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yahanna is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Gathered on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
Shalom, Israel. The I.S.U.P.K is hosting the Lord's 55th Annual Passover with an all-access pass to the lamb slaughter, all-black party, scripture breakdown class, kids party, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com, starting with April 17th events with the lamb slaughter at 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in North Carolina. Make sure that you get involved. Make sure that you're in the house at 1921 Strickland Road, Clayton, North Carolina. Followed up on April 18th, Thursday, the all-black party. I.S.U.P.K concert series in Durham, North Carolina at the Durham Armory. Last year we tore it down, and this year it's gonna be a whole movie. Then Friday we have the kids party with a petting zoo. On top of that, it's going to be held at the Sky Zone Trampoline Park with virtual reality included. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com. April 19th in the evening, General Mahaiman's scripture breakdown class. You already know we got the heavy hitter in the building, and it's going to be at the South Square Event Center. Make sure that you're in the house starting at 7 p.m. in Durham, North Carolina. Then April 20th, the moment you've been waiting for, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. Make sure that everybody's in the house, and it's being held at the last Black National Fairgrounds in Pittsboro, North Carolina, starting at 6 p.m. Also housing an actual slave quarters, which you will be able to go and take pictures and video footage in front of it. That's 191 Fairgrounds Road, Pittsboro, North Carolina, April 20th, starting at 6 p.m. with doors open at 4 p.m. for a brunch. Make sure you're in the house on time. Then April 21st, Sunday, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread at the Haiti Heritage Center, 804 Old Fayetteville Street, Durham, North Carolina. Make sure that you are in the house. If you have not booked your hotel room, there are still a few rooms available at the Millennium Hotel. Check the number. Make sure that you call. Rooms are only available while they last. The Lord's 55th Annual Passover, hosted by the I.S.U.P.K.
We live, man. Yahweh Shem Yahshua, thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Alathamba Shem Yahshua to all the sisters. That means peace. Lord watch over you in Hebrew. And for the brothers, it means Peace in the name of the Lord, in the name of our King Christ, who is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. Peace be unto you. Right? I'm Captain Mashak Mayam of the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under or led by Commanding General Yahanna, which started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. That's where the school was founded. That's where the truth started. The truth in this generation. And by this generation, meaning the Spirit of the Lord, for the full understanding of the Bible, came back into the earth at that time. In the book of Daniel, it tells you that this book was sealed up for a time. And this was shortly after the time of Christ. The truth went away from the earth. The truth was hidden from the earth, even though the Bible was here. The understanding of the Bible was not here for a time. And that was prophesied in the book of Daniel. And it said now the truth again would be released back into the earth. And this is the time we're in. According to the Bible, the Jews are black. All 12 tribes are black. We are the 12 tribes of Israel according to the Bible. The so-called Negro in America, the so-called West Indian, the so-called Haitian, Guatemalan, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Brazilian, El Salvadorian. We all the 12 tribes of Israel. We've been conquered and destroyed and enslaved by every other nation. The so-called white man, who the Bible calls the devil, he is the devil the Bible speaks of. That's right. He has destroyed us, put us in slavery, and has really been our whipping stick, like a belt your parent would use to correct you. That's what our oppressor really is. Unfortunately, the other nations have also taken part in our destruction. So-called Africans helped sell us into slavery. We are not African. I know we in the so-called African Caribbean Center, but this is the Caribbean Center as far as I'm concerned. We're not African. And no matter how much we try to love them, we're not them. And I know when they first came to England, same thing in America, same thing in the Caribbean. When they first come around, they don't even let you know they're African, because it's not popular to be African. It's popular to be us though. Everybody like West Indian food. Everybody like West Indian way of talking. Forget about the music. They love our music. But Burna Boy ain't get big and large singing that old African stuff. He ain't touring with the shikis on. You know what I mean? He's touring, pretending to be a West Indian, trying to talk like a West Indian. And I saw the interview where he said he was ashamed to be Nigerian when he came to London. He said it. He said he wanted to be black. Everybody wants to be black. Every other nation, their men want to be you. Every other nation, their women want to be you. Your lips are naturally lovely and thick from the Lord. The white man injecting their lips with Botox, having them looking like a freak of nature. They had to go buy their tail, they buy their behind and buy their chest from some plastic factory when the Lord gave you that naturally. The Lord gave you, the black man and Hispanic and Native Indian man, a spirit from him to be glorious and special, which is why even though we are at the bottom of society, somehow we make everything look good. Yes. We make everything, we make it look glorious. And they got all the money, but they don't shine like how we shine. They don't have that attractive spirit like how we have. Whatever we do, it turns to gold. And that's because we the Lord's special people. All right, so for sure tonight, this class, thank the Lord, for the Spirit of the Lord, for these brothers here in the UK, Captain Karafia, Officer Dumgabar, Officer Arya Allah, this Leicester zone, and Trooper Radaya Allah, Leicester zone. These two brothers here from Manchester, Officer Tazapwan, Officer Raban, the brother here with the gold crown, he's from London, that's Officer Hakayan. Captain Karafia, this is his brother in the back here, he's in charge of the United Kingdom, the Israelite School of I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yahanna. And we come out to teach our people the truth, so that we could rule, we could raise up and rule. And I know a lot of people might be wary about ruling because of our oppressor, but I'm here to tell you, rulership is yours. The whole return of Christ is so that you could be in charge of the earth. Right now, the earth is rich because of us. We're gonna rule the earth. So this class tonight is for you, Leicester. I want to hear all your questions, anything you're confused about. The topic tonight is whatever you have a question on. Just be willing to hear the answer. Even if you're still confused, let me know. Because the only thing I ask you is to be decent and in order. Raise your hand. Don't cut anybody else across. You know, it's pretty much it. You have a question, if you need to use the restroom, you could just quietly walk out. I think the restroom is on the same floor. We have, of course, refreshments. I think we have food on the way. We have some soup coming. The sisters coming down from Birmingham, bringing down some soup. Because Commandant John Yahanna wants Leicester. He wants every single Israelite in Leicester. He really, the whole UK, right? The whole UK, because he's building this nation for Christ. So again, you're not going to be disrespectful. You're not going to offend me. Ask your questions. I'm here to give you every answer according to the Lord. Brother. I.S.U.P.K? Mm-hmm. I.S.U.P.K stands for the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Right? That was the name that was given, okay, I don't want to say given. You could say given by the brothers who started the school. You get the point? There were, in the beginning, there was a brother by the name of Abba Bivens. Abba Bivens, he at first started learning from the so-called Jewish man, right, with the yarmulke and the little tassels. But as he's learning and reading the records, he's seeing that the Bible is talking about us and not them. Like the Jewish history is not in the Bible. Slavery is in the Bible. Anybody knew that? Yeah. You all knew slavery in the Bible? Where is it, brother? No, the brother who asked the question. Where is slavery recorded in the Bible? You're not too sure. Well, no, I'm going to go into it for you for a quick second. If I could get Deuteronomy, please, brother. Deuteronomy 28, all right? Slavery is recorded in the Bible. Well, I know you all don't have too much. What is called child support over here? It's called child support? Maintenance. In America, it's called child support. Over here, they call it maintenance. Maintenance is in the Bible. It's a curse. It's a curse. It's a punishment for us. What else? Black on black crime is in the Bible. I can show you that in Egypt with Moses. What else are we going through? Give me some more. Abortions in the Bible as a punishment for us. What's not in the Bible is the Holocaust. If they're the Jews and the Bible is a book of prophecy, surely one prophet should have said, in some day, in the last days, a nation from the east will take you and burn you in an oven. Some sort of biblical talk. And it's not there. It's not there. Slavery is there, though. Right. Our captivity in America, it's there. I can show you Christianity and Islam in the Bible as a punishment for disobeying the Lord in the Bible.
So we disobey God while we're under punishment.
That's why we're under punishment. We disobey God. Because God is what?
He's Lord.
He's Lord. There's something else. God is what?
Almighty.
Hold on. That's true. There's something else. God is what? No, you. Yeah.
Higher power.
Higher power. Energy, I'll take that, sis. God is king. Anybody else, sis?
Counselor.
Counselor, I'll take that.
Mighty.
He's mighty. Anybody else, sis? God is love. I'll take that. I'll come into your hacker, and you know the answer. This is for them. This is for them, Aggie. You ain't got to give me the answer, brother, right here. What is God? Okay, let me help you. What is God to us?
Our maker.
You closed it. You closed it. Our what? Our Father.
That's right. Our Father.
God is our Father. He is not their Father. He is our Father. Christ said, when you pray, pray the Lord's Prayer, which begins with our Father. That's why, I'm coming to you, that's why the Lord punishes us, because we are his children. You don't go into your neighbor's house when their children kicking off and beat them. That's their problem.
Yeah.
Right? You making sure your children follow your laws in your house. We disobeyed our Father's laws in his house. And he told us, since we want, just like bad children always, bad or misguided, always compare you, the parent, to some other friends, parents who they think gives their child a better life than you give yours. And they say, well, why can't we be like Timmy's parent? Why Timmy gets to do this? He gets to go to bed at 10. Or Keisha's parents lets her dress how she wants. And what do parents say to the children? You ain't Keisha, you my child. You want to dress like that? Go live with Keisha's parents. That's what the Lord did to us. We wanted to be like the other nations so much. He said, oh, well, fine, go be with them. And they made us their slaves. And it was meant to make us realize we were better off being with our Father. And now we have to turn back to him. All right, so let me get the brothers in the back first, and I'm going to come to you, all right?
Yes. So, people might say...
Hold on one second. Let me just get Deuteronomy 28 first, and I'm going to come right to you, all right? Go ahead, Ariella.
God. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Give me 15.
God. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, that's what Moses told the children of Israel after coming out of Egypt. That it will come to pass if we disobey the Lord and don't listen to everything he says, all these curses and punishments shall come upon thee and overtake thee. The life we live is a direct punishment from the Lord. And that's why we feel like we can't get out from it. That's why we feel like it's overtaking us, like we're drowning, like our life is so rough and just, it's overbearing. It's too much at times. Right. It seems like, we could do the same crime one of the heathens do, and we get way more time than them. Right. And they're out on bail, they're doing whatever. The queen, Captain, which one of the queen's nephews was raping somebody? He was raping some woman and they just paid the bill. But our people, they'll throw us under the jail, they'll bury us or execute us in the streets. These are punishments from the Lord to make us want to obey him. Give me 68. 68 is one of the main curses.
God. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
The Lord shall bring thee what?
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Into Egypt again, a second time. Because we went into Egypt one time already with Moses, with Joseph. He said the Lord would bring us into Egypt, which is slavery, which is bondage. Egyptos is the Greek for bondage, house of bondage. He would bring us into bondage a second time. How?
With ships.
How?
With ships.
With ships. Right. That describes our slavery.
Yeah. Right.
There's some more. We came into slavery in the transatlantic slave trade on ships. The so-called native Indian tribes and Latino tribes also came into the Americas on ships. That's recorded in the Bible too.
That's right.
Go ahead, Hakian.
Why would they teach it in the churches? That's the same Bible.
It's supposed to be. I don't know what they're teaching from in the churches today. They're teaching from whatever the pastor could get paid from.
Right.
You right? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so previously we were talking about our Father, but people might say God is the Father of mankind. How do you answer that?
People say that question one more time. People might say what?
People might say God is our Father because he created all human beings. So how do you answer that?
So people might say God is the Father of everybody.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. No problem. I'm coming to you right now. I'm going to answer everything biblically for you. Nothing from my mouth. All right? Finish up that one for me.
Gone. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there,
when he says, by the way whereof I spake unto you, thou shalt see it no more again, meaning around this way where I'm telling you this, we came out of Egypt, going into our land. He's saying around this way, you are not going to see this land again. And since we came into this slavery, as a people, we have not been to our homeland. We have not been back to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is our motherland. Right. Israel is where we come from, not Africa. Right. We were sold from Africa, but we are not African. It's similar to somebody saying bananas come from Tesco or Aldi's. Because you buy it in Aldi's don't mean it grows in Aldi's. It grows somewhere else. It comes from somewhere else. But the marketplace is Aldi's. Our marketplace was the west coast of Africa. And Ghana, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, all them west coast African countries, primarily Ghana, profited from our sale. They knew who we were, and that's recorded. Keep going.
And there, Salakia, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your
And there
enemies.
ye shall be what?
And there ye shall be sold.
Ye shall be what?
Sold.
Ye shall be what?
Sold.
There we will be sold to who?
Your enemies.
To our enemies. Now, people might say there have been different slaveries. Everybody went into slavery. Not how we went into slavery. Right. Our slavery is very specific.
That's right.
And it's recorded in the Bible over 2,000 years ago. Moses said it. That's prophesied in the Bible. Moses told us we was going into slavery. We disobeyed. And now we're here. Now we have to deal with the deportation of the Windrush from Priti Patel, who is an immigrant that benefited because our parents helped build Britain. Now we have to get displaced from housing to house Afghans, to house the Chinese from Hong Kong, from Ukraine. Now we get displaced. We here now. When we ask for better conditions, they tell us, go get a job. You're too lazy, Negro. Nobody telling the Ukrainians they're lazy. Nobody saying, what's their problem? They tell us we're responsible for our own success. They say, you know, we're supposed to make our own destiny. Everybody free now. So if you're doing bad today as a black person, it's because you want to do that. You don't want to take advantage of everything. Well, stop sending aid to Ukraine. Right. If we made our own conditions, Ukraine made their conditions. All they had to do is go make peace with Putin. Yeah, right. But they're getting millions of dollars of aid. When we built this country, we built America, we built Rome, we built Egypt, we built Babylon, we built everywhere. And they use us and put us in the trash. That's in the Bible, the Holocaust is not. So you understand, brother? Brother in the back. You get the point, brother? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you. You understand what I'm saying? Say that again? I'm saying they use us and then discard of us like trash. Right? That's how the oppressor does us. This oppressor who is the devil, the Bible speaks of, the white man, he's our main enemy, and he's the one who we were sold to into slavery. And that's recorded in the Bible. Right. All right. So this school under Commander General Yahanna has been teaching the Bible, the truth of the Bible, since 1969 to our people, all over the place. Right? We have schools all across America. Central America is school in Mexico. We have schools in Brazil, schools in Trinidad, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Haiti, and in the UK. France is coming on board too. The school is for us, for our people who are disenfranchised. Everybody else gets help except us. And that's what the I.S.U.P.K is here for. The I.S.U.P.K is against the oppression of God's chosen people. And we teach God's chosen people. All right? Go ahead, brother. Yeah, go ahead. I know you had a question next, all right?
Yeah, because in the genealogy of Jesus in the book of Matthew, it talks about the genealogy. So is that genealogy written in the wrong way?
Is the genealogy what? Written
in the wrong way, and then so that we're not mentioning it. Because in the genealogy it talks about David being related to Jesus and all his relatives saying that Jesus came through the root of David.
Right. Okay.
Who was David and was he black?
He was absolutely black.
That's right.
David was black. David was nigger black. He was black.
That's right.
And y'all, okay, first off, nigger is in the Bible, and nigger is a good word. Let me take the stigma off of it. Everybody look at me like, I saw K-Fulton rise up in the back. Who you call a nigger? Nigger is in the Bible, and this is who we are. We all are niggers. They called us nigger because we were black. Let me get Acts 13:1. That's who we are. David was also black. All right? Go ahead.
The book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon.
Right? In the church, in the New Testament, a church is a gathering of Israelites. Today, they tell you a church is that thing with the steeple and the cross. Biblically, that's not a church. A church is a congregation of Israelites. That's what they would call it. Right? We would have schools. We didn't have churches. The synagogue, the translation for synagogue is house of books. The Lord's house is a place of learning. That's why when Christ went missing when he was young, he was where? In the synagogue debating with the doctors and lawyers. Meaning he was in there, challenging, going through the books and the records, because this is a place of learning. This is not, the church is a house of Satan.
That's right.
So it said in that place of learning, there were certain prophets and teachers. Go ahead.
As Barnabas and Simeon.
Right, those at that time were famous teachers who was teaching under the body of Christ. Barnabas and Simeon, go ahead.
That was called Niger.
That was called Niger. Spell the word.
Niger.
Right, those prophets and priests were called Niger.
Right.
Now, Niger is a Latin word. Anybody knows what the word Niger means?
Nigger.
What does the word nigger mean?
I don't know.
Nigger, now we don't have that dictionary here. I have it in America. I should have brought it. You want to get an old Oxford or Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, not the newer ones, because the newer ones have changed it. The original meaning of nigger, was a variation of niger, which means black.
Right.
Niger is Latin for black. It's the Latin word for black.
Right.
From Niger, most languages come from: French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian. In Spanish, what's the Spanish word for black? Negro, which is what they called us, right? So you're Negro. Before African American and all of that, it was Negro. Go ahead, Cap. You have it? Go ahead, read it for me, nice and loud.
Nigger. From the
Spell it.
Nigger, Nigger. Etymology is traced to the Latin word niger.
The etymology of the word nigger. Etymology means the original meaning of the word or the history of the word. It's traced to the Latin word niger. Go ahead.
Meaning black.
Meaning what?
Black.
No, it said meaning ignorant.
Black.
It said meaning, shiftless and wasteful.
Black.
Nigger just mean black.
That's right.
And we black people, because God's people are black. Nigger is an absolute term of endearment. And you don't never let nobody, make you feel otherwise. Now at the same time, let me arm you all. When the oppressor calls you nigger, you call him the devil. You call him the devil. You tell him. No, devil get under my foot like this devil here. You see this devil here? I put him here for a reason. Yes, I see. This is where he needs to be, under my foot. You get the point? So now we're all black, right? Nigger is in the Bible. So now back to your question. Let's get Matthew 21 and 21. All right. Rob, if you could pull the Bible dictionary here, you might be able to get it in this one. Hold on. Go ahead with the other one. See if you could find for me here. What do I want? What's the one where they talk about David or Solomon being black? Ruddy. Give me Ruddy. Go ahead, Al.
The book of Matthew, chapter 1, and verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people.
He shall save who?
His people.
He shall save who?
His people. From their sins.
Christ ain't come on the earth for everybody.
He didn't for everybody.
No.
His people.
He came for his people.
That's right.
You understand? The whole John 3:16 thing is a myth, how they teach it. You get the point? The whole thing is a myth. You all okay? Or just grab the book from your sister, brother. All right, the whole John 3:16 thing is a myth. John 3:16 is in the Bible, but how they teach it, it's incorrect. All right, I can break that down after for you. But it says here clearly Christ came for his people. Now let's see. Now the whole lineage in Matthew chapter 1, it gives you the lineage of Christ. David, Judah to David, Solomon, all that. Now give me Songs of Solomon 1 and 5. All right. Now you're going to see us jumping around in the Bible, and it might appear to you that, you know, how they're going from verse to verse like that. Why it's not reading all the way through? The Bible says precept on precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. That's how you gain wisdom. The Bible is not a book written for you to read like a novel. You could read it like that if you want to. You're going to understand about 20% of it. Wisdom is understanding that what's said here relates to what was said back here. And what was said in the middle could pair up with these two here. It's damn near a puzzle. And it's a puzzle for one reason. Because God wasn't talking to everybody. That's right. Just like in your house, your children, when you tell them, you know, by a certain time, this light come off, or be in the bed, or don't let me reach home here and there and everywhere, and you still doing this. The neighbor's children are not going to understand what you're saying because you're not talking to them. They're not in your environment. The Lord was talking to only us. The Bible was written to us. So that's why you want to understand when the prophets spoke, they were talking to Israelites. They was talking to brothers and sisters. Right. They were talking to us, not everybody. Right. Go ahead.
It says in Chronicles 7:14, if my people are called by my name. What does it mean by that?
Okay, well, I want to get one question first and we will move to the other, all right? So let's finish up this question first, all right? And I want to get everybody else's questions too, all right? Songs of Solomon.
God. The book of Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black.
Songs of Solomon was written by who? Solomon. And Solomon. Songs of Solomon was written by Solomon and Solomon's wives. Songs of Solomon is really a duet. Solomon had wives, and it's damn near like a very lengthy song if you want to understand it like that. It's Vibes, Cartel, and Spice. It's like how he sing one verse and then she sings something else. That's Songs of Solomon.
Right.
I'm too old for now. Appreciate that. That's Songs of Solomon. So Solomon in chapter 1, verse 5, read. And now Solomon is who? David's son. Now, everybody here have some sort of Caribbean background. I know you all heard the phrase, dog don't make cat, right? Everybody understand what that means, right? Dog don't make cat, right? Sheep can't make goat, right? Go ahead.
God. I am black, but comely.
I am black, but comely. That's what Solomon said. He wasn't white. He said, I am black, but comely. James Brown say, I'm black and proud. Say it loud. Solomon is saying, I'm black and beautiful. And he talking to them women. And them women, listen, there's other verses in there. I think what she said, the woman, she said something about climb the tree and taste the fruit. That's in Songs of Solomon because it's a love song between him and his wives. That's why I said our culture matches more closely in spirit with the Bible. White man make a love song and it's about running through the fields. Them East Indian, their romance is running through the field and one pick a flower and hiding behind a tree and all that bullshit. That there is the Bible arc. And that there's how babies get born. And when Cartel and Spice say something, some child getting born in 9 months. I'm telling you that straight up. That's our culture. Now, if Solomon is black, what is David?
Black.
David is black. King David, all the people of the Bible are black. All the prophets are black. All the women mentioned are black. Everybody in there is black. You get the point? From Adam, Noah, everybody is black. That's who we are. You get it? All right, no sweat. I'm going to come to your other question. I want to just open the floor to anybody else who may have a question. Anybody else? Don't be ashamed. Don't worry. Go ahead, sis.
I would like to ask, are we we worshiping the same God Almighty.
As who? When you say we, who's the we? And when you say are we worshiping the same in comparison to who? Go ahead. Who is the we? When you say are we worshiping the same God? Who are you talking about? Us, the I.S.U.P.K? Okay, we follow the God of the Bible. We follow the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible is a black man.
Right.
His description is in the Bible.
That's right.
And we obey his laws. We also have a king called Jesus Christ. Christ is not God. He is a man like you see men. The difference is Christ was a man that was perfect in God's sight because he obeyed everything God said to do. We worship God and we have allegiance, an extreme allegiance to our King Christ. If that answers your question. No problem, sis. Do you know that the Lord, our God, he's a black man? I give you that in the Bible too. Anybody knew that God is black? His description is in the Bible? You all knew it? You all sure? Sister here didn't. No problem. Let me get it out in Daniel. Let me get the Ancient of Days, all right? Any other questions too? Anybody have? Let me know. Go ahead, brother.
In regards to the, I think sometimes I think that we did a different Bible, so I just need to understand the breakdown of the King James Version, just so that people understand, you know, because I just think the Bible is just one Bible.
I got you.
I just need to understand why is this the Bible and the other Bibles, their versions, not yet the correct version.
I understand. I got you. I appreciate that, brother. I'm gonna come to you right next, all right? All right. Okay, so now we're gonna definitely prove in the Bible that God is a black man. You have it, priest? Go ahead, priest.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
Okay.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Right, and this is the prophet Daniel, or in the Bible, Daniel Allah. In the Hebrew, that's his name. Daniel Allah is Daniel in the Bible. Go ahead, brother.
And the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow.
Right, so Daniel is seeing in a vision. What's going on, brother? Daniel is seeing in a vision the Ancient of Days. Who is the Ancient of Days? Who is older than all the days? God. Right? There's the whole concept of days come from the Lord. And so he's seen in a vision the Ancient of Days. He's seeing God sitting somewhere. Go ahead.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
And the hair of his head was like the pure wool. Who has woolly hair?
We, the black
Sis?
people.
Black people. God's black. He's a black man. He's nothing else. Go ahead. That's it? That's it on that one? Any more? Go ahead, please.
His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
Say that one more time. Read it for me.
His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
His throne was as a fiery flame, and his wheels was what?
As Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
And his wheels as burning fire.
And his wheels as burning fire. What does that mean? His throne was as a fiery flame. What does that mean?
No idea.
All right, picture the vision. Daniel is looking and he's seeing a man sitting, and this man has woolly hair. This is a black man. He's seeing the wool on his hair. Then he's seeing his throne. The man who he's seeing his throne as a flame of fire.
The Son of God.
His throne. It's saying it right there.
A flame of fire.
The God is sitting on a chair made of fire.
That's right. Right. So you can't even go there and get burned.
It's the whole image of it. The whole, just seeing this man there, and he looking fierce, woolly hair, And the throne he's sitting on fire. So if he could sit on fire, you should watch your mouth and do what he says. Because you can sit on nothing too hot, nothing too cold. You get the point? The Lord is an absolute terrible power. He's a terrible power. Let me give you the perfect analogy for the Lord. Most brothers who are fathers in here, do your children absolutely love you like they love their mother? No. Because you are a terrible power. When they give trouble, mommy says what? I'll call your father, and they straighten up. Because though you love them, you bring the pain, which is love, which is what children need. And God brings the pain because he loves us. And he lets you know he's nothing to play with. In Revelation, they tell you that the throne room, he has 4 beasts around him with eyes. Horrible looking beasts. And all day they yell, holy, holy, the God of earth. That's all they're saying all day. That's every brother. Most brothers have big pit bulls or cane corsos around. It says in Revelation, his chair, voices come out of his chair. That throne of fire, voices coming out of it. Brothers get a car and drive around, and there's loud sounds coming out the car because you got to announce yourself, because you are the spirit of the Lord, brother. Nobody else. And that's why everybody wants to be you. Everybody wants to be like you. Your spirit that they hate in the earth, that's God's spirit. That's why they hate you like they hate God. Everything they teach is against God. God said it's abomination to be homosexual. They say it's alternative lifestyle. They get their own TV shows. They get their own laws. They get their own schools. You can't even talk about them no more. They hate the Lord's ways like they hate us. You get the point? So that answer your question, sis. The sister who you see it now? God is a black man. Christ is also black. Right? That's in Revelations. I could get that for you all also. But I'm going to get the brother's question about the Bible, right? So the brother asked the question about the Bible. Why there's so many other Bibles? Why do we use the King James Version? And the importance of it, right? So, of course, in the Israelite School of I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yahanna, we don't just read the Bible, but we also go into the Hebrew and the Greek and break it down. We also teach Hebrew. This right here is our resident Hebrew scholar, Officer Rob. This is a young brother from Manchester. Give me my hand, brother. Young brother. He came into the truth when he was what? 6 years old? Oh. He was 17 years old as a young man and stood fiercely for the Lord. And the Lord then blessed him with a gift of languages. This brother teaches that Hebrew class so well, brother. I mean, it's a ridiculous class. It's absolutely insane. I beg you all to check it out every Friday on our YouTube channel, I.S.U.P.K UK. And he's found a way to open it up to everybody. So even though you may not physically be in Birmingham or Manchester, you could get the link and be in the class online and see in the Hebrew. He's teaching the alphabet. He's teaching you the count. He's teaching you names, nouns, sentence construction. He's teaching you breakdowns of the Lord's name and the 12 tribes, everything. And that's, Command General Yahanna has this running through the whole nation. So because of it, we've been able to verify the King James and the Hebrew. All right. Now give me the Bible dictionary. You know what I want? You have it already? Go ahead and read it. Just raise the book up. Show them the Bible dictionary too on the front. This is the bigger one. This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. This is the compact version. And this is the full version, I would say. Right? Or expanded version. All right? Go ahead and read for me. Ruddy. Not Ruddy. Not Ruddy. I want the Bible in here. Right? Cap, you might want to help them out with this one. I want the Qumran Caves. Right? Now, in King James, right? King James, this Bible is called the King James 1611. 1611 because of the year. The Bible we get today is incomplete in the stores. It's missing these books, the Apocrypha. Right? The Apocrypha goes down here smack in the middle of the Bible. It's right in between the Old Testament and the New. It's the history right there that links it up, right? The Catholic Church removed the Apocrypha, I forget what year, it was after 1611, right? And they called this the canonized version. And then they went on to bring in different versions of the Bible for their purpose. But the King James Version is the closest translation to the scrolls found. Anybody find it? You know I want it?
Where Bible?
You look up Bible. Bible is going to give you all the other Bibles, ASV, NSV. You want to look up the King James Bible, where it tells you about the scholars and stuff like that. King James, while the brother's going to pull it up and explain to you, read it from there and let you know. King James was a black man. He was not white. He was a black man. He was from the tribe of Judah. He descends from the Stuarts and the Black Douglases, which were black men. They were Israelites. They knew they were black. Go ahead.
Was there a black king of Scotland, England, and Wales?
That's King James.
Okay.
King James, the first of England is the sixth, or King James, the sixth of Scots, the first of England. Right? You have it? All right, show the brother where it is, all right? Could he handle it? You want Rob on to get it while you eat?
No.
You sure? No sweat. Take your time. Right? King James was a black man. We did the history on it. Commander Yahanna did a whole trip to the King James Castle, Edinburgh Castle last year. Went and see the whole history of the shit. King James family crest is a lion and what you would call a unicorn mounted on a shield, right? Those two are two symbols for the two main houses of the 12 tribes of Israel. The lion representing Judah, which is what the Bible describes Judah as. They said Judah is like a lion's whelp. The unicorn represents Ephraim, but that historically is not the unicorn. In the Bible, a unicorn is a one-horned goat. See how goats have two horns?
Yeah.
Sometimes a goat could have a horn that's intertwined. You could look it up on the internet. Wow. They're intertwined, and the Lord said this reminds him of Ephraim, which is one of the sons of Israel. And that became Ephraim's sigil or his sign. In war, Ephraimites would put armored plate on their horses with that horn in the front to signify their tribe. And you could see it in historical wars where they have the horse's armor with the horn in front. Under King Solomon, the kingdom split into two kingdoms. One was ruled by the house of Judah, one was ruled by the house of Ephraim. So those two represent the 12 tribes. King James knew it, and that's why he had those two symbols as his family crest, because he was touted for bringing everybody back together. Right? Come on.
So in British history, all that history is there, but it's withheld from the general public.
It's withheld from us.
Yes.
And not the general public. Because as you said before, the Russians know. Yes. Eastern Russia knows Christ was black. The Russian icons have Christ as black. They have the black Madonna, a black depiction of Mary holding a black baby. So some people know, we don't. Let me not get too far off, all right? Go ahead.
God on God. The Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. A new translation of the Bible from the original Hebrew and Greek without any marginal notes for the use of all the churches in England. Without delay, King James nominated 54 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day.
Right? So King James, he hired 54 scholars, the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day. Keep going.
God on God. Only 47 actually took part in the work, which did not begin until 1607. They were divided into 6 groups: 3 for the OT,
3 for the Old Testament. Out of that 47 who remained, 3 was for the Old Testament. 3 groups. Go ahead.
God on God. 2 for the New.
2 groups for the New Testament. Go ahead.
God on God. And 1 for the Apocrypha.
And 1 group was for the Apocrypha.
Right.
They translated everything from the Hebrew and the Greek into the Old English that we have today. All right? Where's the part of the Qumran caves? Who are they? Is it right there, Cap? Point them out to it, all right? It might be in this one here. Give me that real quick. So he paid those scholars. So they translated it from the Old Testament written primarily in Hebrew, the New Testament written primarily in Greek and Latin, and the Apocrypha, which was Hebrew. They translated that into what we have today, right? They'll find it in there. They said the King James translation is the closest in translation to the Qumran Dead Sea Scrolls found in those Qumran caves. And that's why we use the King James Version. All right, go ahead.
How we all come in England? We got white kings and queens today.
Because they rule.
So,
Oh, you mean how did they get to be in power?
If you go black kings and queens in England, how come everybody's white all of a sudden?
I get you. Officer Dumgaba, who is our resident historian straight out of Birmingham, you'll give him a hand. This brother is skilled in history. This brother, he is explaining to me how they plotted on King James' son after King James died. Because King James had some power and they knew they couldn't get him. They plotted on his son to take the throne away from him, somebody's crown is actually King James' son crown. Who is it?
Edward the Confessor.
And is that crown still today in Buckingham Palace?
After Oliver Cromwell got destroyed, he remade it for Charles II in 1661, I believe.
But that crown was his son's crown. So from King James ruling, they were always plotting to take rulership from him. Now, this is one thing, even though we had rulership, one thing everybody needs to understand. You will never be successful in anything, truly successful in its entirety, unless the Lord is with you. Unless the Lord is on your side.
Yes.
You get the point?
Yes.
No matter what you do, your best intentions. If you don't obey your father will never, ever support you. Never. You understand? It'll always fall. And that's been the downfall of damn near everything in our history. From the revolts in Haiti with Toussaint Louverture to Nat Turner, the Black Panther Party, everything it's bound to fall if you don't obey the Lord. You're going to have a run for a while because what is going to be pushing you forward is the oppression of black people.
That's right.
We are oppressed, so we want something different. So we'll get behind something. But brother, it's a matter of time before it dies because the Lord is not in it. Every father, if your child is kidnapped somewhere, or if you put your child in punishment, not kidnap, you put your child in punishment. Could your child break out of the room? Let's say you say, hey, go up to your room. You beat them, go up to the room, take away the PlayStation. Could they come out the room and get back on the PlayStation without you knowing? Yes. What will you do if you find out?
You punish them.
Punish them. Lord, we had to serve our punishment. How do you get, as the child, how do you get off of your father's punishment?
Begin to do what's right.
That's right. Give him a hand. It's simple. You tired of captivity? You tired of being oppressed in England? Obey the Lord.
That's right.
That's it. How do you obey the Lord? You come find Commander General Yahanna and learn. You're going to just have to learn. It's going to take time. It's a process. It took hundreds of years to bring us to this condition we're in. It's going to take some time for us to come out. Just think, most of us find out the truth when we're full adults. We don't develop habits and ways and going through trauma, and we have a certain way we think. Our spirit is a certain way. You come in here, ask all your questions. I encourage you. Every question, ask it. Any doubt, any disputation, ask it. Brother, anybody? Okay, Yeshua is a bastardized pronunciation of his name, right? It really comes from the Jewish man's Yiddish and just, being converted over years. In Hebrew, his name is Yahawashai, right? Hebrew does not have vowels. Hebrew is a language with symbols. So the symbols have sounds. A, ba, ga, da, za. That's Hebrew. The Hebrew the white man speaks is actually Yiddish. It's a German, Polish, and Russian dialect. Historically, they'll tell you they add vowels to try to pronounce the words because they couldn't figure out how to pronounce the words. That's why they say shalom with the O-M instead of shalom. It's sha-la. When you read the Bible, you'll see sha-la, wa, and ma. The wa and ma is connected. So it's like shalom, shalom, shalom. It's not shalom. You get the point? So you'll have words like Yehudi, Yeshua, whatever. His name is Yahawashi HaMashiach. Yahawashi means the Savior. Ha means the. Mashiach means Messiah. He is Jesus, the Messiah. Right? Jesus is the Latin pronunciation of Yahawashi. So it's not Yeshua or Yehoshua or nothing like that. The Lord's name is Yahweh. Right? Not Jehovah or Jah. You would see that in the Bible, but of course, most people say what? J wasn't even around until the 1600s. It's the proof. His name is Yahweh. Go ahead, brother.
Israel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Israel is a people and not a place.
Yes.
It's a people first, right? There was no land named Israel. There was a man named Israel. And he had sons, and they had sons, and they grew into this huge nation. And the Lord gave them a land, and that land was called Israel after the people. Israel is the English coming from the Greek and the Latin pronunciation of the word Yasha Allah. Yasha Allah in the Hebrew is prince with power. A prince with power. Shah means prince. Allah, A-H, you'll see A-H-L-A, but it's Ah, that's the symbol Ah, and there's a symbol La. The power. Yasha Allah is a prince with power. Jacob, you familiar with Jacob wrestling the angel in his dream?
Yeah.
Jacob wrestled the angel because he wanted the angel to bless him. At that time, everybody knew if an angel came to you, it was either to bless you or to kill you. Jacob got the message from the angel and was begging for a blessing. The angel was trying to leave. Jacob wrestled him all night so bad that the angel had to break his hip in the dream to leave. The Lord was impressed with Jacob's willingness to fight for favor from him. Like any child, any father who has a child, and you have a son or a daughter, you might have multiple children, but there's always one or two who always try extra to do what you say. Always try to please you, and you might find favor in them because they love you and they want to do what you say. The Lord looked at Jacob and said, this brother here is a prince. He's a prince with the power. He's my prince. And he changed his name from Jacob to Yasha Allah. In Hebrew, Jacob is Yaquah, which means to supplant or to, try to get your way into something. You're trying to do something. You're trying to finesse the system. That's what Yaquah means. He changed his name from Yaquah to Yasha Allah. Yasha Allah is the Hebrew for what you know today as Israel. You got it? Right? You would hear certain Pan-Africanist people or Egyptologists lie and say Israel means Isis, Ra, and El. It can't mean that if Israel spoke Hebrew. Right. The Egyptians didn't speak Hebrew. And Isis, Ra, and El is English words. How could that's what it means? It doesn't mean that. That's just somebody who's just getting a little too high. That's all. They're just a little bit too high, and they just imagine something that helps them stay high, But you come to the Lord, sometimes we got to give up things we love. And we got to give up some pork, we got to stop giving up getting high. So, sisters, you have to understand that these brothers could have multiple women. They could have wives with a Z, not an S. Plurality. And you might have to, not be so selfish with your brother. I know he's amazing. I know he's good and he's amazing. But there's other women who find him amazing too. And they're your sisters. Everybody had to compromise somehow to live in their father's house. I knew it was coming. I said it on purpose. I trapped you. I tricked you. Go ahead, sis. Hold on one second. Let me finish with you, brother. I'm going to come right to you, all right? Brother, you good with your question? All right, no sweat. Did we find you one with the Qumran caves? Yeah, just read it for the brother right here, all right?
Khan. Dead Sea Scrolls discovered probably in 1947.
Right.
By Arabic Bedouin and brought to the attention of the scholarly world late that year in early 1948.
Skip me to where it says the King James. It's right there? Where it says the King James matches the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's what I want. See if you find it. When you find it, let me know, all right? Go ahead, sis. Why is what? Okay. Why? Okay, say it one more time. Why is it for men to have multiple women and a woman can't have multiple men? Okay, well, the first answer is because God said so. That's the first answer. Your father said so, right? That's the first answer. The second answer is you are not capable of having multiple men. I'm going to explain to you why. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Give me also Jeremiah 3 and 1. Hold on, I'm going to tell you. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. All right, I'm going to break it down to you. All right, sis? You got me? No, you listen. I know you probably ain't going to even agree. No sweat, but you got to understand it. And you'll understand why. All right? You'll understand why. And then give me possession in the Apocrypha. I probably should start with that one. Give me possession in the Apocrypha. You have 1 Corinthians? Go ahead, Ad.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
All right, so this is Paul, and he's teaching the school he built in Corinth. That's why the book is called Corinthians, because Paul was a Benjamite. He was from the tribe of Benjamin. Paul today would be any one of us brothers from the West Indian Islands. Paul was a brother from the Caribbean who would be today. And his mission was to go to all the children of Israel that were born outside of Jerusalem. When the kingdom split with King Solomon's sons, most of Israel was scattered. 9.5 tribes were scattered throughout the earth. 2.5 tribes remained in Jerusalem up until the time of Christ. Peter and them was dealing with everybody in Jerusalem. Paul went to everybody outside of Jerusalem to teach them who were Israel by blood who they were, because they were living like Grecians, Romans, Philippians. That's why the New Testament is Romans, because he went to the Israelites in Rome. Galatians, because he went to the Israelites in Galatia. Corinthians, because he went to the Israelites in Corinth. Philippians, because he went to the Israelites in Philippia. So now this is in the school in Corinth. Read it again from the top.
God. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Right? He said, I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ. Christ is in charge of every man. Every man first in this nation, and then all the other heathens is under us. That's how it's supposed to be.
That's right.
Right? Christ is in charge of every male. Go ahead.
God. And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of sisters is who?
Is the man.
The head of woman is who?
Is the man.
It says, who is your head? The man. The man is your head, right? Go ahead. And it starts first with your father. Your father is your first authority on the earth. That's your first authority. And it's so spiritual why this oppressor, this white man, the devil, destroyed our homes.
Right.
Because he destroyed the authority in the home. Yeah. The teacher, the provider, and I'm not just talking financially, the provider with wisdom and knowledge. He provides protection. He provides security. He provides stability. He provides a sense of identity. You know why we have such a crisis with our youth in UK? Because they don't have an identity in the house. Children need their father.
Right.
Women are nurturers. That's why you all are so emotional. The Lord made you softer so you can empathize with the cries of a child. You can empathize when this baby needs the breast. You could empathize when the baby needs a hug. You could empathize with your husband when he's having a hard day. Your husband is more hard, more stone. He's less emotional because he has to make unemotional decisions, like you not leaving the house dressed like that.
That's right.
You are not marrying that boy. That boy is going to ruin your life. I'll help you choose a husband. And if he has to die for you, he will. And if he has to kill for you, he will. He can't have emotion. He might feel scared, but when that bomb come in the night, he better go down them stairs and kill whoever's there, because he's a man. That's his authority. This oppressor done took it from us, and we don't understand it. The head of the woman, go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
Go ahead.
And the head of Christ is God.
So that's the hierarchy of the family system. God first, then men, then women, then the children. You cannot have multiple husbands because you'll have multiple heads. Who you going to serve? The Bible says no man can serve two masters. So if a man can't serve two masters, how the hell a woman serving more than one? You're going to be confused. You will what? You will love one and hate the other. You are to have one head. A woman is not a man's head. A woman is what to a man, sis? Just give me one word. Give me one word that would encompass what a woman is to a man. A nurturer. Anybody else? Say again. A what? A throne. Like a throne. Hold on. Don't cross talk. I understand what he's saying. You don't understand. And that's the problem we have in the black community. And that there, what we just witnessed there, the white man is the devil. Because he introduced to us his culture, which is called Battle of the Sexes. The white man introduced Battle of the Sexes because he's such a faggot. Excuse me language. A man should never want to fight a woman. And a woman should never want to fight a man.
That's right.
It's very homosexual for a man to want to compete with a woman. That's a woman. What do you want to compete with her for? We're going to be more sexy than her? And it's very backwards for a woman to want to compete with a man. What are you going to do? Be more masculine than me? You can't. But in his society, you could do that because he's homosexual.
Right.
He wants to compete with women because he actually hates women. To compete with somebody, in the competition, you have to hate them. In any sport you play, whether it's football, whether it's Arsenal versus Chelsea, for them 90 minutes, them niggas hate each other. It's a blood feud until the whistle blows. Then they shake each other's hand. Because in competition, I have to hate you. Battle of the Sexes is a homosexual thing because those white men, they hate women.
Right.
Black men love women.
That's right.
That's why we have so many. Right? How many? You like shoes, right? You wear shoes? High heels? Do you just have one? Why you just don't have one? Think about the shoes feelings. What about the shoes feelings? Doesn't the shoe get attached to you? You swagging it out, right? All right then. You love shoes, we love women. That's the point. Give me another word for a woman. Give me the apocrypha. I asked for it a second ago. Find it.
She's a vessel.
A vessel. I'll take that. What vessel?
She produces children.
She's a vessel. The Bible calls her the weaker vessel. Right? She's the weaker vessel. A vessel is something that can hold something. This is a vessel. A boat is a vessel. But she, out of y'all two, she is the weaker vessel, which means what? Say again, sis? She cannot hold as much as you, which is why she needs you to be there. Our oppressor done took us away from our women, which is why today in the black community, whether sisters want to admit it or not, there's a record high of mental illness and anxiety amongst black women in the black community.
Because we're still being oppressed.
Well, in the oppression, black women have been fooled by white society to follow women's liberation, which was led by white women. They wanted barefoot and pregnant. That wasn't our story. Your grandmother's wasn't barefoot and pregnant. Right? Right or wrong, sis? No, we was what? Cleaning the white man's house in the nursing hospitals, delivering their barefoot and pregnant babies. That was their problem. Our women were fooled into buying into that. And from that came the independent woman. I don't need a man, but she does need a man. And today we're suffering for it. Let's see what the Bible calls a woman. Let's see what God says a woman is. Go ahead.
God. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36, verse 24.
This is in the Apocrypha, all right? You could find it online. You could buy it. It's just about $10 or $12. I think we have a couple extra here. But this is in the Apocrypha, in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Read it nice and loud. Tell them where you're at again.
God. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36.
Salaki, 1 second. Just for the sake of the class, right? Afterwards, you're going to get time to, socialize. We create the atmosphere for that, but I want to keep the distractions down. We have about 2 hours, all right? Go ahead.
God. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife.
He, the man that gets a wife, a woman, go ahead.
Beginneth a possession.
A what?
A possession.
A what?
A possession.
What is a woman?
A possession.
What is a wife?
A possession.
What is a daughter?
A possession.
You are a possession. You are property. Hold on. Don't save her. Don't step in. Okay. Because this is a demon sisters have, and they battle with it. And today everybody gonna get cleansed of the demon, not just her. Everybody listening, everybody. Some brothers had a demon too. How do you feel about being a property, sister, or possession? You don't like it. Why? Just anything, all right? Let me ask some more sisters. Sis, right here. You don't like it. Sis in the back with the white hat. How do you feel about being a possession, a property? Like, how do you feel about being called or
about being owned by somebody?
Yeah? She agrees with it? I see her shake her head. Don't try to talk her out of this one. I saw her shake her head. Listen, she old school. You know what I mean? Sits right here in the black and white jacket. How you feel about being referred to as a possession, or you're not happy about it? Why you're not? Okay, no. Explain to me. Make me understand. Now, don't give me a rage. Explain to me why you don't like being called a possession. You're your own person. Okay, I'll take that. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true, sis. You should only obey your parents. So are you your parents' possession? Yes. Okay, so you could be a possession to your mother and father. But in the traditional marriage, as you know it, doesn't your father give you away to a groom? To be what to him? His no, don't help them. Oh, I need it to come out the mouth. I need them to say it. I need them to, their spirit to get free. He's given you to a husband to be what to him? His possession now. So she turned the corner fast, boy. Give her a hand. She said, well, he had to be a possession. Come on, sis. You get it now? Now, I want you all to understand, this is the generation gap we face it. The older sisters understand it more. The other sisters are after the woman's lib. Whether you subscribe to it or not, you already got filled with that poison. Being a possession is an absolute glorious thing. That's right. Absolutely glorious. Right. You have a car, right? You don't have a car? What? You have a phone. You have a phone, right? What kind of phone you have? Got to be iPhone 15, not 6, right? Do you drop it all over the place? Yeah. You do? You have a, but you don't drop it on purpose. Do you have a case for your phone? Why? Protect it. Why? It's a possession. Do whatever I want with it. No, but the case is to protect it, because why? Because your possession is what? Is valuable. You don't want to be valuable? You don't want to be known as valuable. That's what a possession is, you know, sis. No, don't blow your into the thing. She look at her like, hold on, wait. Come on. You don't want to be valuable? What about you, sis? You want to be valuable? Right? Everybody have, come on, brother. Well, she ain't saying nothing about the man going around. Listen, don't try to help out. And this is where we had to get to. There's certain things sisters have to get, certain things brothers have to get. Women have to get this part. They are possessions. They are fully owned by somebody. Property. Right. Like if you're going to buy a house, you're going to buy property. You're going to check the property out, see what the property brings to the table. Like you said, they have different things. Some property is not good. So a man should not get it. Right. When you go to buy a property, who do you talk to first, brother? Yeah, or you go to buy property, you go buy car. Car is a possession, it's a property. You go to buy shoes.
The owner of the property.
I raise your hand next time, though. That's for decency and in order. But let me get the brother. Go ahead. For you. Anything that you own today, that you paid for, when you go to buy it, who do you buy it from? The owner. So you go talk to the owner and you say to him what? Well, right? You go tell him, listen, I see you have this thing for sale, right? Is it good? Tell me about the features of it. How much you want for it? A little too much. I have this. And I'll give it to you for this. All right, no problem. And there's an exchange. And now because you paid money for it, you care for it, right? Right? Right or wrong? Every brother here cleans their car. Every brother here shines the wheel on the car that's going to touch the road in 2 seconds. The dirty, stinking UK road. But you still clean it. Why? Because you want your car to look good. Because the car is a reflection of you and it's your possession. Well, in Bible, a woman is a possession. She's first her father's possession. And as she grows to the age of marriage, which is not around her menstrual, that's when she begins womanhood. You want the fruit ripe. You want it when she's mature. Right. Around about 18, 19, 20, she's around that age. But she belongs to her father. You might see her. She going to school. She on the bus. You might talk to her. To take things further, you have to go to her father and introduce yourself. Hey, listen, brother, I'm so-and-so. Yeah, big man's son from around the way. Oh, yeah, I know your father. Yeah, I think you have a daughter. Keisha is your daughter, right? Yeah, what about it? Right. I mean, sir, all due respect, sir, if it please you, you start to talk to him nice now. You talk to him nice. Right. If it please you, sir, I'm in class with Keisha, I know her. I would like to know if it's okay if I could start talking to your daughter. Talking to her for what? Because if you're a good father, you're going to make it hard to get access to your what? To your possession, because she's valuable. And then if that brother is willing to go through the grilling and the uncomfortability of your first authority, your father going to give you the green light to go be his possession. Because he's now found a man just like him who could rule over you, protect you, correct you when you're wrong, and kill and die for you, like he would. That's right. Come on, sis, clap hard. Clap hard now. Clap hard now. Now, I worked on that breakdown. That's the law. That's the look. And now that's what's missing from our society. That's what's missing. Our women are not seen as possessions anymore. And if nobody owns it, what does that mean? Sis? Anybody could have it. Y'all get quiet now, huh? It's a sad thing. It's very sad. It's rough. Our sisters are not protected anymore. Which is why that damn East Indian was able to strangle that woman in South London on TV and keep his store. Kept his store, and he strangled that woman. Had it been a brother in Leicester strangled some Paki or some Afghan, everybody would have been in jail. They'd have talked about his mother, his father. You all remember what they did to Mark Duggan? Because they're women protected. Because they want to be possessions. And I done heard about them East Indians and them Pakis and them. They beating their possessions up. Busting their lips up. But they stay with them. But our sister's been taught, I don't want to be a possession. Nobody owns me. No, you better get owned. You better get picked. Become a good pick-me. Dress nice, talk nice, learn to cook, learn to sew, get some skills under your belt so your husband could see what's in you. Value. So when you come to your father, if your father says, okay, you want to marry this girl? $10,000. You could be like, how you want it? Cash, check, or card? Because she worth it. And he's right to sell you. It sounds raw and harsh. I'm going to tell you why. I'm not to sell you like selling you into slavery.
It's a dowry.
It's a dowry. But this is the dowry. This is why dowry is important. You are the way you are because of your father. Your father raised you. And whatever service you do for your father, you might help him on a farm. You might help him in his kitchen. You might, meaning like he might be a chef. He might have a store. You helping him around the house. You are a valuable girl. He gives you to this man. He's losing value. Shouldn't he be compensating for them 20, 25 years he done raised you? Shouldn't he have, he's losing a whole person, a whole employee, a whole, vice president, if you're looking at it like that. He should be compensated. And the brother pays, why? There's a question for the brothers now.
She's valuable.
Raise your hand, though. Raise your hand, though. Go ahead.
She's valuable.
She's valuable, but there's something else. Why is it good for the brothers to pay? Go ahead, brother in the back. He's gonna what? Why he gonna appreciate it? Because he spent not his money, he spent his good own hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears money. That's how brothers talk, right? A man hit your car. Yo, that's my good hard-earned pounds you just hit there. Right. Now imagine he talk about you like that. Imagine he talk about you like that. Somebody give you trouble. Where? He call it rise everything, meet me in front. Because he done paid for you. And he knows your father. How is he going to have to tell your father what happened to you and look him in his eye with a straight face, knowing his father trusted you with his life? Right. You still don't want to be a possession? You'll give it a shot. You'll give it a hand. Listen, in the I.S.U.P.K, there's brothers and sisters that make different shirts. All these shirts here, sister in Texas makes these shirts. This brother, I think he makes his own shirts. This shirt here comes from Sister Hauba. Where she's at? She's back here, Sister Hauba. Sisters make jewelry. Taznawa here, she makes jewelry. There's a shirt in the Israelite school at U.P.K called Black Wives Matter, with 3 sisters on the front. Black Wives with an S, sis. And on the back, it says his possession. And sisters wear it with pride. Because they want to be a possession. There's another shirt that says property of, and then you pay extra to put the husband's name. So they walk around, property of Captain Carathia, property of Officer Rauba, and she walking around normal, like she want everybody to know who she belonged to. And that's righteous. That's right. Listen, Beyonce don't go nowhere without Jay-Z. Y'all want to be Beyonce level. If y'all want to be Beyonce level now, I can put you on Beyonce level. You get the point? Let me get Isaiah 4:1. Go ahead, brother.
I was going to ask you, going to explain the things we around your forehead and all these things.
I got you with that. Give me glorious apparel. Cap, give me glorious apparel. Give me Bible dictionary headdress or mitri or attire. What you got?
Isaiah 4:1.
Go ahead.
God. The book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man.
The Bible says, in that day, 7 women will take hold of one man. One man, Aria. 7. Beanie said, enough girl and girl in a bungle. Girl from Rima, girl from jungle. All right, go ahead. I'm coming to you. Saying. And the women, they are saying,
we will eat our own bread.
You ain't got to feed me, nigga. I will eat my own bread. Go ahead.
And wear our own apparel.
I'll find a way to get the Gucci and the Louis Vuitton and the Birkin bag. I'll find a way to feed myself and clothe myself. Go ahead.
Only
what? Oh, no, hold on. Was that word?
Only.
What?
Only.
Only. The only thing she wants. How Popcorn said the only man she wants? Popcorn had it wrong. The only thing she wants. Go ahead.
Let us be called by thy name.
All these sisters want is to be known as his possession. I belong to him. He picked me, he paid for me, he went and talked to my daddy. That's my, listen, and this is how spiritual it is. Now, hold on 1 second, brother. Hold on, I'm coming to you. This is how spiritual it is, and these sisters know it, all right? This might be something with the newer generation. What name do sisters call their husbands at a certain time of the night or when things, what name you call? You don't know? Hold on, say it again. They call him what? Listen, and if you're real good, they change the D to a Z and they say Zaddy. You're calling him daddy anyway.
Right.
Sometimes they call you Big Daddy. You telling me you know possessions, sis? Come on, man. Don't fight the spirit, man. Help yourself. Help me, help you, help me. Right? You are good possession. It's righteous to be a possession. The white man don't want you to be my possession so you could be his possession.
That's right.
Which is why today it's easier for a woman to get a good paying job and men to not have it because he don't want a black man in the office because he can't violate him.
Right.
But he could violate you. And he could trick you into thinking you could take the violation and just get the money. My advice to every sister is go get a husband and who serves Commandment General Yahanna so he can teach you how to go in there and fleece the white man. That's what we all do. Our sisters in here are doctors, lawyers, certified nurses. We don't just take women and have sex with them and make babies. We send them to school. Send them to school, certify them. Psychologists, clinical psychologists in here. Right. Engineers in here. We build in an absolute nation. You are an asset. You like a barrel of oil or oil well. If I pay for you, you're going to produce. And I'm going to help you produce. I'm going to make sure you produce. You get the point? It's absolutely in your best interest to be a possession. Because if nobody care about you, you're unprotected. You're going to get violated. You get the point? Right. So that's a prophecy, and we live in it today. Some of us are living it up today by choice. A brother doesn't have to have multiple women. He could have one. He could have none. He doesn't have to have a woman. But if he has 10, don't fault it. Don't fault it. You get the point? Go ahead. Yep, it's by design. The white man destroyed our home. Give me Mark 3:27. What are you holding? Okay, hold that. I'm gonna come to you with the headdress question. All right. Give me Mark. You can keep where you are. Give me Mark 3. Give me strong man.
27, sir.
I think so.
God, the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house.
Right? Black men, Hispanic men, and Native Indian men are known for one thing and one thing only. Our masculinity.
Right.
And they hate it. There's a term they call angry black man. Why are you so angry? Even in Britain, they damn near make you speak in a certain voice. Right. You had to speak a certain way. In America too, they call it code switching. When you're around them, you have to talk a certain way. If you talk how you normally talk, they say what? Why are you so aggressive? Nigga, this is how I talk. You go see lions in the damn zoo, you don't call them aggressive. Right. That's how he roar. What do you want to say? You want to say meow? Right. That's how he is. Right. You get the point? They don't say that about Putin and them Germans and them. That German language is so aggressive, it's ugly to hear how they talk. But we are known for our masculinity.
Right.
Because we are absolute strong men. See, most brothers, 90% of brothers are absolutely glorious, honorable men. And this oppressor has made our households unglorious and dishonorable, and that's why most of us are not in there. He took us out of the household. But in our house, we are very strong. But you know what, where we now enforce? The road. Road man, he enforced that. The prison system, he enforced that. We able to make certain things that he gave us but are sinful. But even in that, we able to establish codes and rules. Now imagine if all that was in the house on the right side. On the right side, brother, certain things would never happen in our communities. So now read it again from the top.
God. The book of Mark, chapter 3, and verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods.
No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods. What is the goods of black men? His possession and his children from the possession. That's my goods. My land, the things I work for. No man could come and spoil that. Go ahead.
His goods, except he will first bind the strong man.
Except he must first bind the strong man. Our houses are spoiled today because all our strong men are tied up in a corner. Tied up on the corner. Tied up in the prison. Tied up somewhere else that everybody thinks is so glorious. Who knows where? Who said it? Oh, come on. I didn't want you out. You know it. This is for them.
I didn't hear that. What did you say?
I didn't hear it either. I need you to say it. Our strong men are bound up in a corner. It's like imagine somebody breaking your house. They have to tie up the strong man. That's what the Bible says. No man can enter into a strong man's house unless he first binds up the strong man. Our men are bound up in a corner somewhere, on the corner somewhere, in the prison, tied up. There's somewhere else our men are tied up that people think is a glorious place. The corner, everybody say we don't want the men on the road no more. Let's do something about the road men. Let's do something about the brothers in prison. There's another place where people are bound up that everybody think is great. No? Our brain is also tied up. It's not physical bondage, it's now what? Mental. So the bondage is talking about is mental. So where else? Who knows? In the Christian church. Give him a hand. Where else? Where else? Say it again. In the Muslim mosque.
Right.
Those are two religions that Moses prophesied in Deuteronomy that we would suffer as curses. It says we would be sold into a land where we would worship wood and stone. Wood and stone. What's the symbol of the Christian church? The wooden cross. What's the symbol of Islam? That rock in Mecca. They could worship that shit. That's not for us. That's not for us. If you're Chinese, Japanese, African, worship it up. Build a whole house full of crosses and stones. But you 12 tribes, you ought not to bow down to an idol.
That's right.
You ought not to. But our men are bound up in it. Or our strong men. Strong men are bound up in it. These religions go for the best of us. They go for the best of us. Islam went for Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. Now they got Gervonta Davis. You get the point? They go for the best of us because they know our people will follow idols and will come into the religion. Listen, Commandant General Yahanna has idols of his own. Real celebrities, General Mahayman, General Mayak, General Hazayan, General Sha'alma, General Kathamgaba, General Kabalama. Give them a hand, brother. Those are brothers that done served Christ all over this world. Ridiculous videos, millions of views. General Mayak has a ridiculous, General Mahayman has a ridiculous video making some girl cry in DC who said it was unpatriotic. Millions of views. General Mayak, Make the Jewish boy cry. Famous video back in 2010 in Philadelphia, where he told the Jewish boy, your parents was burnt in ovens. That's not in the Bible. You are not a Jew. The Jewish boy started crying, went viral. That's who you need to follow. Those are not men who are bound up in anything. Those men are servants to Christ.
That's right.
And because of it, we're able to boldly say the things we say. The Christian church is the house of Satan. Right. Islam is idol worship. Right. And the white man is the devil, the Bible speaks. I say it with all conviction and no fear. Because I serve Christ, man. I serve Christ. And our houses are protected. Let's believe. Who are the other? Oh, what we holding for the headpieces, right? Give me every man praying and prophesying, 1 Corinthians, and glorious and warlike apparel. You have it? Go ahead, Cap.
1 Maccabees 14:9.
Right, 1 Maccabees. This is in the Apocrypha as well. 1 Maccabees chapter 14, verse 9. Go ahead.
The ancient men sat in the streets, communing together of good things, and the young men were on glorious and warlike apparel.
Right, these read it again from the top.
The ancient men sat in the streets, communing together of good things.
The ancient men sat in the streets, communing together of good things, which is how we are today. Right, well, after you work that slavery for 8 hours a day, most brothers come home, they might eat something, and they go away. You go sleep. All right, no sweat. We ain't talking about sleep in this one.
The congregate with brothers.
Where?
On the corner.
On the corner.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the corner, or some football field, or you're going to sweat. Somewhere, but the ancient men sat in the street, communing, talking about good things, meaning how we going to do this, how we going to protect this nation. That's how our ancient men sat. Go ahead.
And the young men put on glorious.
And the young men. So as the more seasoned, the older brothers, the men who lead in, they would sit around talking. The young men who would be around would wear what?
Glorious.
Wear what?
Glorious. And warlike apparel.
Glorious and war-like apparel. That's why we dress how we dress. Exodus 15:3 said, God is a man of war.
That's right.
We are always warrior type people. We always have that spirit in us. We don't like the two, white man suit and tie thing. That for most brothers is strangling. As soon as you come on the interview, you come off the damn job, you get this noose off my neck. Right. Because you want to go into your glorious warlike apparel. Right? That's how we dress. That's why you see the boots, the pants with studs and the fringes, the armbands. These are, these are tools of war. Yeah, some brothers have armbands all the way up to here because in those days the weapon was a sword, and you don't ever want to get sliced in your arteries. So you wear armbands to protect yourself. Yeah. You might need that for the knife crime. Knife crime, that would help a whole lot. You get the point? You got some more? Any more? Give me Exodus. What's that one? The studs? Let's let me get that. Let me get the ouches of gold. O-U-C-H-E-S. Ouches of gold. Let me get the garment, the long garments we wear, and also the mitri. Go ahead.
Exodus 29:6. And thou shalt put a mitri upon his head, and put the holy crown upon the mitri.
Right, a mitri in the Bible, M-I-T-R-E. Some people will say mitre. And old school brothers who would play football, you remember there's a football boot brand called mitre, right? It's mitri or mitre. A mitri is this thing I'm wearing here. In the Bible, it's also referred to as a tire. Like a tire. Imagine you have a tire, car tire, and put it on your head. I would have that hole in the middle. But this one, you wind it around in a certain pattern. Let me get it's in the Bible dictionary, the mitri. This is the Bible dictionary again.
So it refers to.
Let me get another bottle of water too, please, if you don't mind. So water, please. No. Go ahead, Al.
It refers to it in the word dress. So it says the headdress is chiefly worn as a protection against the sun.
Right, the headdress amongst our people was chiefly worn as a protection against the sun. Most brothers always go out with either a hat or a scully or something. Most brothers, most black men, you wearing something, you had to get a hat to complete the whole fit. Go ahead.
and a finish to a completed costume.
You see? They wear it for protection from the elements and a finish to a completed costume. Now, check the spirit of this. The Bible dictionary describes how we would dress as a costume. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? If anybody wants any more juice, water, or soup, just raise your hand, all right? The brothers and sisters gonna get it to you. Why do you think they describe how we dress as a costume? Anybody?
Because you're like a soldier ready for war.
All right, think about how brothers dress today. Not us. Any brother. Go ahead. The Bible described how brothers would dress as a costume. It said the headpiece would be a completed finish to a costume.
Tell me.
Why are they describing it as a costume?
To separate it from other people.
So then how we dress is different to other people?
Yeah, basically.
And how do we dress? It's Black and Hispanic people.
Yeah, like on trend. People follow the trend.
We trend. Because what we wear is a spectacle.
That's a trend setter.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. How they say it until the World Cup, we run things don't run we. We set the trend. And to anybody else, how we dress looks like a costume. It looked like, damn, he had shoes and the laces match the belt. And then he had the hat and the hat matching the emblem here. That's how we are as normal. And we are the bottom of society. They be millionaires and looking like trash.
That's right.
Even in old days, we would dress a certain way when the shit just stand out.
Right.
It stands out. Listen, you should go on our website, go to ISUPK.com or at Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge on Facebook. Look up our Passover pictures. We have a long priestly garment called an ephod, which is in the Bible with studs and all kind of designs. That's biblical. The Arabs, you see that man dressed their way? They get that from us. Trying to imitate us. We can't never be duplicated. Their shit don't look masculine.
That's right.
It don't look good. It's not functional. How are you going to run in that shit? How are you going to fight? You're going to trip and fall. You're going to cause a slit in that dress. This thing is an ephod. It's not a dress. But that comes from us. And that's our normal gear. That's our normal attire. Keep going.
The completed costume, it varied from time to time according to rank, sex, and nationality.
Right? It varied from time to time according to, where you were in life, rank, sex, and nationality, meaning from different tribes, not nationality in terms of heathen, but amongst Israel. Women's headpieces are different from men. Sisters would tie up their hair with a bun on top, or just wear something draped over. Some women put on that hat, but woman's head from front to back is covered. Go ahead, priest. Please, please. Right? Go ahead, brother.
So some years ago, back in the 80s or 70s, they had what they call 12 tribe dances. Was there any connection with the Israelites of today?
Okay, I'm gonna get to that. All right. This would be the ephod. Turn it on the side. Let's open the side so they could see it. It's not a dress like the Muslims. This is it's a garment. It's a specific priestly garment. This is one style of it. He hasn't studied it up yet. It's supposed to have studs and you should have to look like a spectacle when you see it. Y'all go look up Commanding General Yahanna. I'm trying to tell you, brother, his garments, I try my best to copy and I fail every year. Commanding General Yahanna comes to the Passover every year in a ridiculous outfit. Leather and studs. And some of the studs have the crystals in it. So when the light hits it, it just reflects. Then the armbands. And these armbands I'm wearing here, a brother in the school make this, Captain Nathan. My brother from Trinidad came up in DC with me. I grew up in the truth with that brother. He makes these armbands from scratch. He gets the leather, the dried cowhide, and gets to work with a chisel and a hammer. And I just like these things right here. He makes some longer ones, brother. He make a whole garment, headpieces from scratch. You get the point? These is glorious warlike apparel. Keep going.
In Maine, however, there were 3 known types that were worn by the male members of the Hebrew and surrounding nations.
Right? There were 3 main types of headpieces worn by the Hebrew men. Go ahead.
The cap.
The cap, which is a tam, like a military tam. You know what I'm talking about? The military hat is kind of like a beret. Like a military beret. You see some brothers wearing that. Go ahead.
The turban.
The turban or the mitri. So some people call this a turban. Go ahead.
And the headscarf.
And the headscarf, like what Captain Karafi is wearing, like what Officer Ariala is wearing, and he has a headband rocking it, or like what this brother here is wearing. Some variation of that. That's our culture and custom. That's where we get our headpieces from. You get it? What's the other question? I know somebody had a question. Right. Also, too, for the men, the difference with the men headpiece, our head has to be uncovered. Read it. The crown of our head.
Yeah,
this crown here has to be uncovered.
Oh, that's thinking about the 12 tribes of Israel.
I got you.
When had dances.
The dances and stuff. I got you. All right, no sweat. Let me get on. Go ahead.
God. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
Right? So we all know who is the head of man?
God.
Christ.
Right, yeah.
Christ.
Christ.
Right? That's another thing Christian church teaches, that you have a personal relationship with God. You don't. You don't know God. You know the man over you, who's Christ. The I.S.U.P.K under command of John Yahanna is a military order. We get that from the book of Deuteronomy with Moses. Moses structured the tribes out of Egypt, broke them up into military ranks. That's where we have captains and officers and generals in here. That's in the Bible.
That's right.
You know the man who you report to. You don't know the Lord.
Right.
You get the point? In Israel, Moses knew the Lord.
Right.
The Lord told Moses what he wanted. Moses told Aaron. Aaron went and tell everybody else.
Right.
This whole idea of everybody has an individual personal relationship with God is a lie.
Right.
That's not true. That's absolutely not true. That's Christian doctrine. Right? You wouldn't even know the Lord. You're supposed to know your father. You don't even know your father.
Right.
How could you know the Lord? Christianity teaches you don't have to respect your own father, but somehow you could respect God. How could you respect the man you could see? How could you not respect the man that you could actually physically see every day, but then claim you respect somebody who you can't see?
Yeah.
And it's hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
The head of man is Christ. Any man praying or prophesying with his head covered dishonors his head. A man has to have his head uncovered.
Right.
You get the point? Our head is not here. Our head is uncovered. Keep reading.
God, verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head.
Every sister come to class, you learning. The sisters here, I know y'all don't know for sure. Don't worry about it. You're learning. Don't worry about it. Everybody learning. Even if you hear something that, okay, you're doing and now you know it's wrong, don't sweat it. You didn't know before. Every sister praying or prophesying should have her head covered. Why? Because her head is here. Her head is man. She could see him. She has to cover herself. She has to cover her head. Not all the time, but definitely she come to class, she come to a high holy day, she'll cover her head. She being, taught, she has to cover her head biblically. Now you going out, you having fun, you partying, you got to uncover your head. Or if you're a good possession, go how your husband wants you to go. If he say, listen, man, that hair you got is glorious, but I want that head wrap. To honor your husband with the head wrap. Now, let's say you fed up with the head wrap and you want him to give you permission to go with it uncovered. What should you do, sis? What should you do? You ask, he might say no. Then what do you do? Sis shake her head. She's like, you ain't going nowhere. No, man. Says abort the mission one time. She said, well, if I can't go, I ain't going. Let me tell you what you do. You go get him his favorite wine, and you turn on whatever song you all like and persuade him with your power to say yes. Sisters have power too, Sisters have good power, boy. They have something that is rare in the earth. Kim Kardashian trying to buy it. They got good power. You got a power that you could appeal to your man in a way where he says, wherever you want. Go ahead. Go on, girl. Go on. Forward and go on. You get the point? You don't have to give it up. And you don't have to make him saying no be a point of contention. He's your head. Go and treat him. Go treat him good. Okay, tell say sit down. Sit down. Go do something. Go do something for him. Go, win him over. And he'll start to give you so much freedom because you honor him so much. And he'll start to trust you and, let you do things and be okay with you doing certain things. And it's going to strengthen your relationship. But that's the difference with the headpieces. Sister's head is supposed to be covered. Our brother's head is supposed to be uncovered. But we do have headpieces as priests. That's what we wear. Right now, onto your 12 tribes question. That comes from the Rastafarian movement. Yes. Not the mention of 12 tribes. We are the 12 tribes. Right. But the dances and the Naya Bingi and this and that, not Naya Bingi, but the 12 tribe thing comes from the Bible. But it originally started with our people from the Rastafarian movement, because Benjamin, biblically, the Bible describes Benjamin as dwelling in the bosom of the Lord, between the Lord, he'll have the Lord between his chest, meaning the tribe of Benjamin is very, unlike all the other tribes, we are a bit extra when it comes to the Lord and his words and everything. If you notice, our music is always something about the Lord and the Bible and quoting. We have Buju sing a whole psalm and had damn near every bashment you go to, every DJ star, let's bless the party. The Lord's my share. And that's how to start the dance. Right. As a culture, we the only tribe that does it. Right. Other tribes would look at it and be like, that's church? No, this is not church. This is just how Benjamin is. Right. You get the point? So because that's in us, even though we stray to other religions, we take the glory, Lord's glory, and give it to them. Benjamites, or the West Indian people, made Rastafarianism great. Right. Nobody would grow dreads if it wasn't for the tribe of Benjamin. Right. Nobody. We make everything great. The only reason brothers are in Islam is because of what? The Quran? Huh? No. It's because of Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, who are not Arabs. They're not. Name me any brother who was in Islam here before. Listen, before I met Commander Yahanna, I was dabbling in everything. I couldn't quote one Arab imam. I don't know none of their teachers, but I do know who Farrakhan is. We make them great. We make them great. Listen, if it wasn't for Peter Tosh and Bonnie Whaler, Bob Marley would have been some reject child somewhere. I know everybody loves Bob Marley. Let me give you some news flash. Bob Marley is a white man. His father is white. And you are whatever your father is. The mother doesn't matter so much when it comes to lineage. Your mother might give you certain traits and certain physicalities and whatever. But Bob Marley is a white man. His father was a white man. A 60-year-old white man who had sex with a 17-year-old girl. In today's society, he'd be a pedophile. Bob Marley had no talent until he met Peter Tosh and Bonnie Whaler and stole the band from Bonnie Whaler and Peter Tosh. And now him and his family, some of his children got no talent, none. They can't sing, they can't rap, they can't do shit. But they're making millions. Where's Bonnie Whaler's children? Where Peter Tosh them children? We make them great. Time for us to make ourselves great. Go ahead, brother.
Does the I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K.
Right. How do you see heaven? Is there a place, do you think about heaven when we die?
Yes. Let me get that for you. Let me get to the Bible, right? Ecclesiastes. You all know what I want? Right, let me get Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. Also give me Revelations 13, 9 and 10. Maybe just those two. Any other questions before we wrap up? I ain't trying to keep you all here too long. I'll go over if you all have more questions for sure. We still got soup or we done? We still got some more? We done. I think there's some more food, Ariel. Some food upstairs or something like that. Our food place. If anybody's hungry, just let us know. We'll bring some food down for you. We have juice and water here too, all right? No sweat. Just raise your hand. Ain't no sweat. We going you want some? Yes. I sort the brother out, all right? Brother here too, all right? You have a question or you wanted some? Both? No, sir. Give me a question too. to do the Lord's work. If what? How can you do it as quietly as you could, all right? Go ahead. Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, the work of the Lord is going out and teaching. That's the work of the Lord, right? And by the Lord, I'm talking about Christ. Christ is our Lord. The work of God is the same thing because Christ said, I came to do my Father's will. The work of the Lord is going out on that street and teaching like Christ did. He said in the New Testament, he told his disciples, occupy till I come. So if I'm sitting here and I say, brethren, hold this till I come back, you must do what I was doing until I return. Christ was on the street teaching, cutting Christians, which was the Sadducees and Pharisees of the day, battling people who would come up against him, teaching people, going here and everywhere, hazarding his life. That's the work of the Lord. That's what the Israelite School of UPK does under command of Yahanna. Right. If you haven't seen our tapes yet, you might want to check it out. That's right. Brothers done stared death down in this school, in the States and here. Last, 6 months ago, we was in the bull ring with them crazy Palestinians. And brother, they thought Allah had some power that day, brother. By the Spirit of the Lord, they understand that our God is God. That's right. And we will kill and die for our God. Right. You're not running us off no damn corner. Anyway, we rule the earth. We're supposed to be rulers of the earth. So if you want it, you're going to have to take our lives for it. That's the work of the Lord. You're supposed to be willing to endure to the end. The work of the Lord is going out and teaching. Now, for that, you're going to have to get taught. Every prophet and priest in the Bible got taught. Paul had to go get taught. He grew up with the Sadducees and Pharisees, but after when Christ came to him, he had to go back to Jerusalem and get his shit straight with Peter. Peter then had to be taught. Elijah taught, Elisha, Jeremiah. Everybody was taught at once, then got power and went out and started teaching. So for that to happen, you're going to have to come and learn from Commander Yahanna. And I'm saying for him, because he is the man the Lord chose. I know it. I've served him for damn near 20 years. Right. I've served under him. I've met him way back in 2005 on the phone. I was in Trinidad. I met him on the phone. A brother who knew him put me on a three-way call with him. And he broke down baptism for me, brother. And I never went back to church. He broke down how much they was robbing me with tithes. Broke down how effeminate it is to sit and have a woman teach you the Bible. No disrespect to sisters. But only a man could teach a man to be a man. That's right. And only a man could teach a woman to be a woman, because a woman is supposed to do what? Help serve her husband. Yeah. Certain things sisters don't teach you, but men is going to rule everything. Learn from Commander Yahanna. There's other, there are Israelite groups who broke off from the I.S.U.P.K. probably around the time of the 90s. So we can work it out with the captain, all right? Work it out with the captain, right? Around probably about the 90s or so, and started different groups because one man grew with power and didn't want to give up lust of his flesh. Some of those groups started saying, white women, we could allow white women in because we gonna get them back for slavery. It's a sin to marry outside your race in the Bible. That's right. Now, if you already did it, that's fine. Keep that heathen. Keep them. That's your wife, love them. That's your husband, love him. Just don't go get no more. Right. If you have to go get more wives, get a sister. She needs you more than anybody else. That's right. If you're a sister you married to a heathen, he dies, don't go get another heathen. Get a brother. He leaves you, don't beg him. Don't beg him back. Just know that if he walk out that door, you're going home now. But if you already have one you didn't know, don't sweat it. Men left for different reasons. There's one famous one that wear that purple and gold, and I'm saying famous just because people who are Christian look at the purple and gold like it's royal. You can Google this. Purple in the rainbow color is the spirit of homosexuality. They lie and say it's about Christ, and it has nothing to do with Christ. That purple, it's supposed to make you feel comfortable to leave the church and organize religion and go with them and think you're obeying God, but you're not. Right. They really run by a cop out in New York who's paid to bring dissension into the tribes of Israel. That's all it is. Go ahead, brother.
So will there ever be a time when all these different fractions of Hebrew Israelites come together? That prophesies?
Yes, but not come together like how you think. This is what's going to happen with these groups, right? Let me finish the point with the brother. So this is why I was there before some of these groups even existed. I was on the streets in DC with Commandant John Yahanna, battling a crowd who wanted to kill us because we told them Obama was an African and don't vote for him. They surrounded the camp and wanted to kill. They said, we killing y'all today. Y'all ain't going home. Before these groups even existed. I got boots older than them groups.
That's right.
Commander John Yahanna is the man the Lord chose. I've seen him do miraculous things. I've seen problems that brothers and sisters faced in the school go away. Whether it's court, children, child support. I've seen a brother win a child support case where the judge said, these children are better off with him than you. Where the hell does that happen? Nowhere. Right. Commander John Yahanna is the man you want to seek after if you want to serve the Lord. That's the first thing. Now, you don't have to believe me. Come here all the time, ask your questions until you get every question answered. That's what I did. I met Commander John Yahanna. I came from Trinidad to DC. I had dreads long to my waist. He told me, cut them things. Jeremiah Hyman told me, get that silly shit off your head. I was offended. You know, Benjamin Rasta, what? I was offended. I kept them dreads, them nasty dreads for about 2 years. But I learned, I kept going to class. And I was like, I said, Jeremiah Hyman, you got to prove this to me. And he gave me 2 scriptures. He told me, blessed is he that doesn't need to see to believe. Cut me. I needed proof. After everything he done taught me, I still needed proof. And then he went and showed me how the dreadlocks come from the East Indians, who I have a penchant dislike for. Because in Trinidad, they oppress us. I cut them dreads the night, the very night. I went and bought a brand new set of clippers. I still have them, but they represent my redemption. I cut them the very night. Commander John Yahanna is the man you want to sue. Now, with the other brother's question, those break-off groups, there's going to come a time where they're not going to exist anymore. We in the process of that time now. Right. There was one group led by some dude who called himself the Comforter. He said he was the Holy Spirit. Commander John Yahanna taught that dude. He left, stole the school from Commander John Yahanna, made everybody dress in red and white. And he amassed a ton of people, promised brothers record deals and all kind of shit in New York. Taking brothers' wives from them, kicking them out of school, taking their wives. You know where he is now? Jail. He wasn't jail.
Well, he's dead now.
He's dead. And his group is in shambles. Brothers started killing themselves. One brother threw himself out a window. Everybody's time is coming, brother. Everybody's time is coming. But while they become examples that I could use in class and the general could use in class, we're going to be on the streets teaching. We're going to be in the prisons teaching. I need to get in Winston Green badly and every prison in the UK. I want my army. I want the army for the Lord, not my army, but Christ's army under Commander John Yahanna. That's right. I want to be totally part of the plan and building brothers up. Right. You get the point? While that happening, we build it. We ain't trying to go at them and try to tear them down at all or nothing. They better not come in front of us. But while we're doing the Lord's work, brother, they are disappearing. One group used to teach rape. They said you could rape a woman. You could just take her. They say in the old days, you could just snatch her up. Because the Bible says, if a man take hold of a woman and lay with her, and that's not the spirit of the Bible. Take hold means what? If I say I have you in the palm of my hand, does that mean you're standing in my hand? No. No. You take hold of a woman by you go and you seduce her. You spit game to her. And now you have her. There's old R&B songs where Smokey Robinson say, you really got a hold on me. Does that mean the woman is holding him every single day? No. He's talking about the love relationship. So if I say, hey, brother, you got a hold on that sister there, it doesn't mean he snatched her up and raped her. But that group taught that and came out of the I.S.U.P.K and left. Sometimes what happens is, because of and I'm not making an excuse for them, but I could understand what happens, which is why in here we are so extreme about everything. The white man is the devil.
That's right.
And devil means deceiver. The white man will convince you that a lump of dog doo-doo is the most delicious delicacy ever. And you will eat it if you listen to him. I'm not lying. A lobster is a cockroach. And our people think that's a delicacy. It's nasty. You shouldn't be eating it. White man tell you it's a delicacy. You know, in the history, they used to feed crabs and lobsters to slaves because it was poor people food. But now it's a delicacy. The white man, he'll tell you it's an alternative lifestyle to be homosexual. The white man. He say there's adults who have a legit sexual attraction to kids, and we should allow it. They just like kids. Well, maybe my father just likes selling crack. Get him out of prison. If you predisposed to raping kids, maybe my cousin who was shooting everybody up, he was just born that way then. Let him out of prison. But no, he have a mental problem, then you nasty. You have a mental problem. Go to jail too. But the oppressor, he'll make everything wrong seem right. And some brothers, this life we live as men and women, some of these sisters in here, these two sisters in here in the school, they'll tell you the life we live is a very hard life. It's difficult. It's difficult because we have to say no to so many things. I'll come into it. We have to say no to so many things that this world says it's okay to say yes to. Like we don't have urges and wants to. You control yourself and stay on yourself and be disciplined and not be part of this. These young kids are born in the truth. These are Captain Carathia's children. You know what they're in school saying? I'm not celebrating Christmas. And the teacher is forcing Christmas on them. Brother and his rib in school every year, battling some white woman who would never buy presents for a black kid unless they defying white people. Some men get tired of living that life. Some men get tired. Forget about the internet now. You can watch Instagram and see the whole down the block on the Instagram. Some men is like, oh boy, let me go over there. The Lord ain't going to punish me. You do it enough, you're going to be out the truth. You're going to be out. That's what really happens. You want to serve Commander Yahanna? You want to serve the Lord? Come serve Commander Yahanna. We'll teach you how to set up things so that you don't get seduced and deceived and tricked. And now you out there teaching something we never, ever taught. Right. That purple and gold group, everybody heard about Joy Morgan. They had some school in London, and they let Africans in. Africans are heathens. They're not the children of Shem. I don't care what nobody say. I'll say it to their face too. Right. They let some African in, and he raped that girl and killed her and left her in London. They didn't come look for her. They went to court. The mother is telling them while she's missing, they're stealing her money. Because they had her set up a direct deposit into their accounts. They didn't go looking for her. They took all the purple off. They didn't hug the mother or nothing. Because they say it's unlawful to help sinners. Because the mother is Rastafarian and she's not in their organization. Let me tell you something. Our people are lost and they may be sinners, but they don't know they're sinners. This is just a lifestyle. Commander John Yahanna taught us to love our people. We love every one of our people. Whether you're a Muslim today or a Christian or whatever, we got love for you. That's right. But we expect that now you learn and you start to change. They would reject our people and embrace Ahmed. That girl died. That's right. It's ridiculous. I'm not following nobody else. I'll follow Commander John Yahanna off a cliff and into battle with these brothers. That's right. All right, go ahead.
I wasn't raised Christian, so I don't know much about the Bible.
No sweat.
Tell me, who is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John?
They're disciples.
They're disciples.
Mm-hmm. Disciples of Christ.
Are they priests or prophets?
Okay, they would be called priests. They would be called disciples. You could say they're prophets, but in totality, disciples of Christ. And the Lord said he would make us a nation of kings and priests.
Are those their original names?
I don't think so. I think everybody had a name that Christ gave them afterwards. That part I'm not too sure about. I asked Commander Johnny. That part I'm not too sure about. I asked Commander Johnny Yahanna. I could find out, but I don't think so. From what I know. Exactly. But from what I know, no, those names are pronunciations of Greek and Latin. Matthew in the Hebrew is Mattathiah. Forget what Mark is. You can look that up for me, right? John is Yahanna in the Hebrew. So the names you have is the pronunciation because we're reading in English. But their names are not that. There's another name. But I can't say that was their name from birth. You get the point? Because typically most people, they get a new name once they serve the Lord. Jacob was turned to Israel. Abram was turned to Abraham. You get the point? Sarai was turned to Sarah. Or Sarai was turned to Sarah. You got a new name once you serve the Lord. Go ahead.
So I was saying, was those same Mark, Luke, and them, were they black people as well?
Yes, they were brothers.
Right, okay.
They were brothers.
I want to ask another question, right? You know the symbol of the, what does that signify? I'm not sure what it signifies.
This?
Yes, yeah.
This is called the candlestick or the menorah. Wow. The English name or the Latin name would be menorah. It's a 7-branched candlestick. Right? This is in the Bible. The Jewish man has 9 branches. 9 is not in the Bible. It's a 7-branch candlestick. This is part of our culture and our history, and we just carry it around everywhere. Right? When the Romans sacked our temple, we had a giant one made of gold, big. When you look at the is the Ark of Titus, which is the one down about, oh crap, the Ark, where they carried the menorah away. You go Google the Ark of Titus, where the Romans sacked our temple. They took it away from us. And right. Judas Maccabees and his family went and made war with the Romans over years, killed them, and restored the temple. All right? Sis, you about to leave? I'm sorry. Shalom, sis. You about to roll out? Go ahead.
I think she...
No sweat. We're about to wrap it up, all right? And last question. Go ahead. You could just Google it. Google Ark of Titus, and you'll see it. You'll see a relief. It's a wall. Yeah, you're right. It's a carving in a wall. They call it a relief. And they show you the carrying the Ark of the Covenant, the replica, and the carrying this away and some other things because they sacked our temple. All right, sis, you had a...
is in a different council, the I.S.U.P.K. So what is the difference? Because it's at the basis of everything is the same, but I think the least...
Well, that's what I was just explaining. Whichever group she is with, the men who started those groups all came from the I.S.U.P.K, but could not keep up with what was taught, which is what the Bible says, and began to start teaching something else that they were comfortable with. And they made these groups, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible things. Some of those men were killed. They died. They're dead now. You get the point? So I wouldn't look at those groups as Israelite groups. They're Christians. They're just Christian. It's the same thing that's going on in church, going on in them groups. They just say shalom. That's it. In here, the white man is the devil. That's principle. They don't teach that in those groups. In here, a heathen can't come in. They don't teach that in those groups. In here, a brother, a sister coming in has to be in the school for at least 6 months in good standing for a brother to even be given permission to talk to her. If a sister has to get a ride home, the teacher arranges it. She don't just get a ride from anybody. That's how Joy Morgan died. That heathen wasn't even supposed to be talking to her. If it was a brother, he can't just take her home. We don't operate like that. You get the point? There's rules Commander John Yahanna puts it here for the benefit of the nation. They're not law, but the Lord honors his words. You break his orders, it's usually somewhere down the line, something horrible happens. You know what I mean? Listen, we're going to be back. We have a school in Birmingham. I beg you all. You're from Leicester, make the trip. Officer Ariella, who just walked the sister out, I think that was his mom, and Trooper Radar. Radar, come up here, brother. I know y'all know Radar and Ariella. Give these brothers, you can turn the camera too out. Everybody see who's in there. I know a couple of people just stepped out. But Officer Trooper Radar, Ariella, they come down to Birmingham all the time, split it around to the other brothers too. Right? They come down all the time. Y'all could come down to Birmingham. We have classes every day. It's too hard. We have classes every day. Officer Rahman teaches the Hebrew if you're interested in the Hebrew.
How long does it take to learn fluid?
It depends on how much you want to learn.
Fluid.
It depends on how much you want to learn.
It's not be fluid, like, I do that like every day.
It's on you. Like, these things are not mandatory. You don't have to go to Hebrew class ever. But you could go and learn some Hebrew. And learn these kids learn Hebrew. Ayala right here, Captain Crawford's oldest daughter, she in every Hebrew class. And she's speaking the Hebrew. You get the point? She learning from him, writing the shit down, explaining, the whole thing, construction. I say, you'll come down and ask every question. Give it a chance. Ask every single question. Even the ones that might seem contentious, ask it and get your proof. All right, with that, who's he got? I pass the class over to Priest. Also, Salaki Commanding General Yahanna has insane podcast every Monday night. It's like 2 a.m. UK time. Y'all could catch him at that time if you're up, or go back and watch it afterwards. We have a Passover coming up April 20th, North Carolina. Everybody's invited. You're free to come on down. Reach out to Officer Dumgaba if you want more details. All these brothers and sisters is coming down. April is a whole week of events that Commander General Yahanna is putting on for the nation, all right? With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Rabba.
This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K starting out of 1 West.
Akim, Shamai.
We are the I.S.U.P.K starting out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the Commanding General Yahanna. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call to each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, means 10 in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher.
What do you respond?
There's also a priest fund, which is a free will offering for the priest. Not mandatory. Give whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the Passover, which is on the 20th of April in Durham, North Carolina. All Akim and Aqua, remember to check the bulletin board in the hallway, so we have a sheet with all our feast days. And if anybody was to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That's boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarf. And with that, we're going to give the teacher one courtesy salute. We're going to face the teacher. Ye men of Israel. Ye men of Israel, I Madim, which means to stand. I Madim Shabbat. I Madim Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua B'Katam. Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. Sa, which means turn. We're going to face the sisters. Sisters, you understand? Ye men of Israel, I Madim Shabbat. I Madim Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yad Yamatah, class is missed. I think that was a breakdown from Shaw.